We good, Aaron? Rolling? Sweet. Let's cheers.
Dude, I'm all about it.
Dude, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mayor Yemi on the podcast with us today.
My man. My man. Yes.
Oh, dude. That's funny.
The number of times that people screw that up is, it's embarrassing, but you know.
Oh, Mayor Yemi, nice to see you. Nope.
So I just saw it went viral last week. There was an influencer, young white kid influencer who was taking a picture with and she was trying to shoot video with Busta Rhymes, right?
Okay.
And Busta was like, yeah, come on over. And they're talking. And in the middle of it, he's like, man, I'm here with Tracy. And he thought it was Tracy Morgan.
Oh, no.
And Busta Rhymes was like, the fuck did you just say? Call me. And then put the camera down. Come over here. And he's like about to tighten him up. Oh, fuck, I am. I will knock you the fuck out. Like it was, Tracy's my boy. I love Tracy, but I ain't Tracy. I was like, oof.
Oh, man.
Oof.
That poor kid was like, I love Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, you could literally watch his spine quiver through the whole clip.
Oh, that would be devastating.
Yeah.
But then again, he went viral. So
there you go. I mean, he, for all the wrong reasons. It means he could be president.
Probably. Probably.
If you go viral for saying stupid shit, you can find your way in the White House now.
You probably could. Yep. So quick shout out to this outfit.
Dude.
This is a Proby special over at the Mens Xchange for those listening.
Oh, you are always so money.
Oh, stop.
I
get it all from your shop.
Those are facts. You can buy threads from us, but your sense of style is unparalleled.
Well, thank you.
You are slick. You are slick as it comes, bro.
I like to get weird.
It's not even weird. It's just smooth.
I love to just go and wander around your place, and you've seen me do it.
Yeah.
I'm just over there like thinking about different combos. I mean, for anybody that hasn't been to your place that's looking, or let's just fill people in. What do you got going on over there? I want to know about the Mens Xchange and how it works. You're clothing people who need clothing, helping them get jobs.
We're doing all that stuff. So we are 8 years into a physical location, 9 years into business. It just popped up that 9 years ago, I was on my socials doing what's basically a telethon for my GoFundMe of helping us to start the business. And my friends and this community gave $20 and $50 at a time until we got a few $1,000s. And while I thought we were going to need 10,000 to open, I cashed in a retirement account, a 401k. And with those two things, I had a small 401k that was from a job I worked for about an hour and a half. But between those two things, it truly is, as we were right here in the middle of holiday season, right on the second day of Hanukkah, it was truly the story of Hanukkah. It was not supposed to be enough for us to start the business on. And then the candle in that lamp has shined for 8 days and 8 nights. And it was supposed to be enough for one day. And it's amazing
that's awesome.
It's amazing what happens when community comes together, when they buy in, they're early adopters. That turns into a space that it's amazing. And that's what the human connection's about, right? So our business we do men's business and dress apparel, and the vast majority of the items in the shop have been donated. Everything that's been donated, we send out to dry cleaning. Once it's been cleaned and laundered, it comes back to our shop. Anybody can shop with us. All of that stuff is $60 or less. So full suits at $60, sport jackets at $50, shirts are $10, slacks are $10. It's full service, so we do sizings and fittings with everybody. And then for every 9 or so people that shop with us, we get to dress one person in the community at no cost. And then I'd say about 2.5 years ago, we started adding in cost-effective suits that are brand new for $225. Mm-hmm. So the same quality of suit that you would find at JCPenney's, Kohl's, Express, and a lot of all those places sell them for more expensive than we do. But Banana Republic, same quality of suit they're selling between $300 and $600, we sell for $225.
Yeah.
And same rules apply. We get a chance to utilize that funds to help us take care of this community. So our goal is to help remove cost as a barrier from anybody dressing and looking better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those suits you just mentioned are standard sizing, but you're also doing custom.
Yeah. So
soon,
the
right?
standard size stuff that we do, we go down as small as a 34, which is rare, harder to find, but we always stock something as small as a 34. And then we go all the way up in those to probably a 62, which is a large mammal.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But with that said, we can do all of that stuff, and we special order those.
Yep.
We have you're the first place that we're telling. We're doing custom made to measure suits starting January 1. So
awesome.
I did my first one, like any mad scientist, I guinea pig on myself before I rolled it out to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And there's some slight little tweaks we need to do, but because we got a phenomenal tailor on site, we can make adjustments and do some things that are in there. But, if you're getting a custom made to measure suit for you, that's thousands of dollars each time out. We do a wool stretch fit fabric combination that's about $900. And then we are doing full wool and cashmere stuff at 13, which is still way below market value.
Yeah.
But also in a space where we can allow people to have a little more creative control over what they're getting and still remove cost as a barrier.
Yeah. That's awesome. Just from a business standpoint, I've seen kind of the back end of like trying to produce custom suits, all the measurements that go into it. It's very specific.
Oh God, it is.
But how did it go the first time? Like when you're doing it before you even launch, how was that first suit? Did they nail it? Or
they did? I'm going to tell you, they did their job. It was on me.
Yeah.
So I've been measuring people for suits for a decade now, right? But measuring for something that's off the rack versus measuring something that's custom is a different vibe.
Yeah.
All the measurements that go into it that you're talking about make it a much more challenging measure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would tell you that we did really close. I'd say we got 92% correct.
Yeah.
When they had some slight tweaks that needed to happen.
Yeah.
And because we've got a seamstress and tailor on site, she was able to make those little adjustments. And the companies that we're working with will allow us enough material inside the clothing that we can.
That's good. That's smart.
We can alter it. I've asked them to leave extra material inside so that we can let it out if we need to, bring it in if we need to, make those slight little tweaks on it to make it right.
I'm the weird person in thrift stores, always looking to see if there's enough material to like.
You and me both, dude.
Maybe I can let it out.
You and me both.
Take it in.
Yep.
What can be done to this? Especially if I bring it to you guys can do anything.
Yeah. The deal is that we got 2 generations of people that think that somehow some manufacturer is making clothes that fit them. And that's just not the case. And when I say that out loud and people hear it, they go, oh yeah, that makes sense. Like nobody in any country is making clothes that fit your body perfectly.
Yeah.
They make things to generic numbers so that then you go get it altered. If you buy a $60 pair of pants, that's a 34, 32. It may fit you close, but by the time you have it altered and you spend an extra $45 on it, then it fits you perfectly.
Yeah.
And we bring in the seat or let out the seat, or we bring in the waist or let out the waist, or we change the pant length by a quarter of an inch one direction or another. Then it becomes amazing.
Then it's perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
Then it fits the vision that you had for yourself in your head, or when you walk in, everybody turns their head just because you've got on a pair of pants that fit you.
Yep.
That's the deal.
Yep. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's it like in Colorado Springs trying to do fashion? I hear this a lot because I love fashion. I'm always exploring.
Dude, yeah.
People know it. They make comments to me. They're like, you're so fashionable in Colorado Springs. I'm like, anyone can do this, really. But I'm curious about your standpoint on it, your perspective on it.
Dude, my standpoint and perspective is this. I notoriously said in NPR, Colorado Public Radio, and the National Public Radio picked it up, that while we live in about the 40th largest city in America, we are the worst stressed city in America, right?
Oh boy.
I said that on air, and I stand by it.
Yeah.
About within the last 90 days, Movado came out with their little survey of what they did, and they, to Movado's point, Colorado Springs is tied with 3 other cities for the worst dressed large cities in the country.
So who are we up against?
Dude, it's not a list you want to be on. I'm telling you. It's
Oh, no.
it's like us and El Paso, Texas,
Oh boy.
and
No offense, El Paso.
no offense, El Paso.
I love the cowboy look, to be honest.
It's like El Paso,
That's what it is down
Albuquerque,
there.
us, and there's one place in Kansas that's not Kansas City, but nonetheless, Wichita, maybe.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's not good.
Yeah.
And then when they take into account the number of alteration shops, high-end fashion shops, fashion events, how people show up for events, like those are the qualifiers that they aggregate to come up with that answer. And
Yeah.
for someone who's in this industry and in this field, in this city, I can't dispute it. I want to get out here every day and do what I can to impact it.
That's how I feel.
But they're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like you can be mad at somebody for saying, there's oxygen in this room all you want, but there is actually oxygen in this room. Like there's actually some facts to it.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I just got back from Italy for a while, which sadly is the reason I missed your calendar party.
Yeah.
Hope it was awesome.
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Good. I love it. I spent like a week and a half in Florence. The fashion is a different level there. That's not even Milan, which I need to get to next. The most fashionable city in the world, right?
Right.
But I just spent when I was in Florence for like 11 days, 10 days. And 2 straight days in the middle there, I just sat in the fashion district. There's a big, have you been?
No.
There's like a big main street and a couple of side streets that all have like Gucci, Saint Laurent, like they're all there.
Yeah.
I sat there and it's on my social media. I'm just like taking pictures of people's outfits for 2 straight days. I was just sitting there. I'll have to show you pictures when we're done. But I'm just like, this is a different level out here.
So my wife and her brother and her mom went to Italy together for a family trip, and they're in the Amalfi Coast. They're in Positano,
Oh yeah.
up and down. I know so that's why I throw those in there. And he said to me, son, don't get rid of your ties because they all come back around again. Paisleys are in and then they're out. Polka dots are in and then they're out. Knits are in and then they're out. Wide ties are in, skinny ties are in. It goes back and forth. And at that point, he told me that those were ties from the 1940s and the 1960s. So the fashion trend in the 1940s, and you can go look these up anytime you want to, just Google them and take a look. The pictures of men's clothing in the 1940s and the men's clothing in the 1960s and the men's clothing in the 1980s are almost identical. Like that 20-year cycle fashion rolls back around.
Yep.
And so as I wear stuff, things that I may have had in the 80s, people are like, oh my God, where'd you get that? And I was like, I got that in a time machine. I got it when it was 1984 and I bought it the first time.
I love it.
Right? Skinny suits are that same way. You can look at Motown and you will see guys wearing skinny suits in the 1960s. Right?
Yep.
You can look at jute joints from the 1940s and you will see some of those same skinny suits. And then you'll see zoot suits and oversized stuff that come in right behind that.
Yeah.
You go from a skinny leg to a bell bottom, and then you go from a bell bottom to a traditional bottom, and you go from a traditional bottom to a skinny leg. Like that's just how the cycle is. And so the middle ground always holds. So you can get not a skinny leg bottom pant. You get something that's got, a pretty standard 8.5-inch opening at the bottom of the leg. A skinny leg is going to be like a 6-inch opening.
Yep.
You can get like an 8-inch opening and it's always in style.
Timeless.
It is. It's
Yeah.
classic, right? You can get a 10-inch opening and you have that bell bottom thing that's going on there. And then you can timestamp it and know, oh, I knew when you were wearing that.
Yeah.
Versus something that's kind of classic. So there's some things I wear in a trendy sense. There are other things that I want to have a real classic line to.
Dude, I'm the same way. Do you have like I tend to think in terms of decades with fashion. I am loving the 70s right now.
Yeah.
I love the patterns, the wide lapels, which we talked about that double-breasted suit you're about to get.
Mm-hmm.
That jacket, the wide lapel is coming back.
Yep.
I love the patterns. I love the flare pants. I got them on right now. These are 70s Levi's.
Yep. Active
leisure pants.
Yeah.
Dude, they're actually so comfortable.
Because they stretch like that. They ridiculous.
Stretch.
Yep.
They're actually not scratchy. Most people think, oh, it's scratchy polyester from the 70s.
Absolutely
and that
not.
does exist. But these are so great. Like,
Yep.
I would wear these like lounging around the house. They're so great. But I love the 70s. They're probably, at the moment, I move around so much with fashion. I get weird with it. But at the moment, I love the 70s.
Yeah. You're not alone in that, dude. And we're currently watching for the first time a show that was out a couple of years ago called Minx, but it's set in the 70s, right?
Mm.
And so we're looking at all the stuff from the 70s and things that we grew up with, we're looking at again. And it's like, oh, dude, that's a good look. Oh, that's a good look. I want to do that.
Yep.
There are vibes from each decade that you can pull the great stuff and then integrate it in and have a real good sense of some quality stuff, right?
Yep.
But it's really funny because in that same space, like one of the biggest trends in weddings right now is the light blue. They're calling it dusty blue because it has to be new, but it's a baby blue suit.
Yeah.
And a baby blue tuxedo.
Yeah.
And the baby blue was the color of choice from 1977 to 1981. Every wedding on the planet was in that exact same color.
Yeah.
And
I think I have pictures of my dad getting married and him and his brother, his groomsmen, are wearing dusty blue.
Yeah. So that's the thing. And so it's so funny. We see young brides and grooms come in and they're like, oh, we just got this new inspiration and here's our Pinterest board. And it's like, I look at it and I'm like, that's 1981. Dude, I
just discovered it maybe, but
the only thing that's missing is the ruffled tuxedo shirt.
Oh yeah, the ruffled shirt.
Huge ruffled
so
shirt.
Oh yeah.
The Prince shirt. But outside of that, I'm like, I know that. Really good. You want to roll with that? I'm in.
Yep.
Yeah.
I dig it.
So I can't tell you I have one decade. I can tell you the thing that while I'm enjoying a fuller pant leg coming back in, which it is, the pleated front, fuller leg pant is certainly back in.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of it. I like it the way that I like it when it's fitted. It's still a big leg and a wide leg, but it's fitted at the waist and it gives you spaces to be able to rock it.
Yeah. This is one of the things I love about the internet. There's a lot to hate about the internet.
Yep, there is.
It's done some damage to us, but one amazing thing is you can access any of this stuff. Anything. I mean, you
100%.
need a quick Google image search and you're going to find a whole bunch of stuff, especially on social media, the way people can stylize it now. And that's one thing I love is you can go to any era of fashion and learn all about it. And it's exposing us all to not just the next trend, right?
But it's the same thing with AI as well. Like, in as much as there's some challenges with AI, you either get on board or you get run over by that bus, right?
Yep.
But the whole point is when you're utilizing tools to allow you to see what's up, it's great things. When you think you can replace humanity with it, you run into a harder problem. Like there's a creative space that you can't get. Yeah. But I will tell you, from somebody who's old enough to span all those generations, Google is infinitely better than the Dewey Decimal System at the library. It's not the same. It's not the same at all.
Not the same league.
No, dude. So finding information and finding reference points like you're talking about is so easy now. And the reason you're not is that you're lazy or you lack imagination.
Yeah.
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 And also culturally, I will tell you that we have made it culturally normatively acceptable to show up wearing pajama pants.
Man, it didn't used to be like that.
It did not. That's how you know you're old, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah. It didn't used to be this.
In my day, we didn't allow people to show up in pajama pants.
When I was a young working man.
Well, I showed up and I'd look good. Yeah.
But really, I mean, you do look at pictures from the 40s, 50s, 60s. It got wild in the 70s, but you look at pictures not that long ago, and everybody, every age, every race, every kind of person just goes to work in a nice suit.
Yeah.
Ladies too. I mean,
and so the goal, by the way, was to get a job where you wore a suit every day. That was the target. How do you think we got the term white collar? How do I get a white collar job?
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Yeah, you got the term white collar because you were wearing a white collar to work, and
instead of a blue denim shirt for work.
Come on now.
Holy shit.
Come on now.
Just blew my mind.
Yeah. Instead of sweating and slaving away with my hands and my back, I could sit down, with a pen and paper and take meetings all day, and that's how I made money.
Man, that makes a ton of sense. Jeez, amazing. I love it. Fashion's so good. We can talk about this forever.
We can.
But quick sip of water here. I also want to talk about your parents and grandparents. This is stuff that we've never talked about.
We have not.
So I was at your mom's funeral.
Yeah.
And it was moving. It was moving to hear the words that people spoke about your mom.
Yeah.
Both in front of everybody with a microphone and just in conversation.
Yeah.
I felt honored to be there. So thank you for having me there. But what did you learn from your mom? Like, what are some things that really stand out?
First of all, I did not expect you to show up to my mom's funeral, and having you there was a blessing and a treat, and thank you for being there.
Absolutely.
People forget that funerals are not about who's died. It's about the living. The dead are gone. Funerals are about those of us who are left behind. And it's how do we celebrate a life, and how do we find consolation and condolences amongst other living people who love us and show up in those spaces. Brother, that is not lost on me, that you were there for me when the most important person in my life was no longer there. So thank you for that.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
My mom taught me everything. So if you live in Colorado Springs, I have a very famous family. If you drive in and out of the airport in Colorado Springs, it's named after my father, the Milton E. Proby Parkway. And my dad is a giant in this community and in the state and in the nation. My father was our state's leading authority on civil rights and was friends with Dr. King, was friends with Malcolm X, was the go-to person about civil rights in our state, and the person that led all of the civil rights change in our state.
Man, not enough people know this.
So they've flown the flag over the nation's capital in honor of my dad on 2 separate occasions. Coretta Scott King, Malcolm's wife, and MLK III have come and visited and stayed with us and visited my dad's church. My dad pastored the same church for 47 years. He was the first chair of the Human Rights Commission for the state of Colorado. He was the first chair of the Civil Rights Commission for the state of Colorado. He was the first civil rights advisor for any governor in the state, and he held that position for 4 separate governors across political boundaries. He was the guy when it comes to civil rights in our state. Okay. So the challenge with that is I have to compartmentalize my dad.
Yeah.
Because he did all of those amazing things and all those incredible things that impact us as a nation and as a community. But he was also a terrible father. He was also an absolutely terrible person to me inside the home.
Mm.
My mother was also a trailblazer. My mom is listed as the second Black school teacher in School District 11, but in my opinion was the first, because the person that they list as the first was actually passing. She passed as white for the majority of her life. And then when it became easier to be Black, she was quick to point out in like the 1980s, oh, by the way, I'm Black. Not a pathway that was open to my mother.
Mm.
And so my mom was hired on as a teacher in District 11 prior to a lawsuit being settled about the district not hiring enough Black teachers.
Okay.
So my mother, as an African American woman, and I want to make sure we're clear on that, as an African American woman, graduated from college in 1956. We legally get the right to vote in 1963. So my mom is teaching American history, world history, civics to predominantly white children as a college
Before having the
graduate,
right to vote.
and she does not have the right to vote nationally.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But that's the reality of it, right? And that's the reality of my life. That's what I grew up with. On my mom's side of the family, her grandfather, my great grandfather, was born a slave and was emancipated. And then my grandfather, because of the Great Migration, something we don't talk about in education that we need to, the point when African American families leave the South and move to the North and to the West in hopes to leave Jim Crow law and segregation and finding opportunity. It's very much so akin to the same story of how we look at immigration from Eastern Europeans and Western Europeans coming to the United States. So when we're looking at the English, the Irish, Scots, the Germans, the Italians, and that mass space of immigration in the late 1800s, early 1900s, coming in to try and find a better way of life in the United States of America.
Yeah.
That same thing happened from 1900 specifically to 1976, 1978, where people left the South to go north to Detroit, to Cleveland, to New York, to New Jersey, to try, and also west to California, to try and find these great opportunities and leave what was a life that was incredibly limited in the South.
Yep.
If you think about the South as the old country and you think about the North as the new country or the West as the new country, that's how so many cities like Detroit and Chicago and Cleveland and New York City get built and get born. It's from those spaces. My grandfather left the Jim Crow South of Oklahoma, Stillwater, Oklahoma, during Brown versus Board of Education, because he was really clear that you're not going to mistreat my children for going to school in an integrated school. And he came here, and my grandfather was the first kitchen manager, the first person that opened up he did not own, but he was the first managing labor that opened up the Loop restaurant in Manitou.
Oh.
So at the time, the Loop was an American eatery, and my grandfather was a cook and a kitchen manager and ran the kitchen and set up all in the back of the house at the Loop.
Oh.
So that's how my family gets from Oklahoma to Colorado.
Huh.
Right?
So he knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing in that business.
He was the man. My grandfather is still the yardstick by which I measure manhood. And I still don't measure up. But that guy was all of it. He was absolutely it. So my mom is a trailblazer in the sense that she gets here in the 1950s and is educating people and is active and involved in the community and is an incredibly well-educated Black woman in a space when that is an oddity, not a regularity. Right?
Yeah.
And you combine my
Yeah.
mother and my father together as the power couple of Black community in the state.
Yeah.
And
Man.
that's what I'm a product of. And my grandfather who leaves segregation to bring his family to Colorado, a place that they know nothing about and have no community or connection to,
Yeah.
just to try to create opportunity, which he
Yeah.
did. He absolutely
Yep.
did. That's my family's history. My mom taught me everything. My mom taught me how to dress. My mom taught me uh, how to carry myself and comport myself. My mom taught me how to wear cologne, which I have shared those stories over and over again about because they're stories that we need to learn. My mother was adamant about the fact that you don't leave this house without your clothes being ironed and looking properly. You're
Yeah.
not just representing yourself, you're representing this family and you're
Mm.
representing Black people everywhere you go.
Yeah.
My mom was adamant about the way that you speak. That wasn't just me, that was with every student in every class she ever taught. That words have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you must pronounce every single syllable and every letter and every word.
Mm.
It would drive her insane when someone would say, "Oh, I love the mountains." Mountain. She's like, "What is mountain?" I don't know what a mountain is.
Which mountain?
I know what a mountain is. There's a mountain.
Oh,
Let's
oh,
talk
I see.
about mountain, not mountain.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cruising. It's cruising. You're going to pronounce every syllable of every word.
Yeah.
Right? She was emphatic about it. She was hard nosed about it. There is an axe, and it has a handle, and it's metal at the top, and it's got a blade to it. But you don't ask anyone anything. You're asking someone something,
Yeah.
right? Where you at? What do you mean where you're at? You're not ending a sentence in a preposition.
Yeah.
It's where are you?
Right. Right.
I grew up with that every day of my life. And it has challenges in it, but it also made me a better human being. I owe 100% of the man that I am and the human being that I am to my mother. I mean, 100% of it, because she is someone who stepped into the spaces of humanity every chance she could.
It sounds like both of your parents were pretty stern. They were they could be pretty difficult people, but your mom had this element of being loving
My mom is
that was different.
my mom my mom was the physical embodiment of unconditional love.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no way I could conceive of Christ's love had I not seen it enacted in my mother on a daily basis.
Yeah.
My mom's ability to love people beyond their faults is something that happened with her through into her grave. And probably her greatest feature to provide you with another opportunity. Now, with that said, my mom would say, it's your duty to forgive people,
Mm.
but don't be ignorant and forget.
Mm. I see. A little wisdom in there
The
too.
wisdom's tossed into that, right? So it's also in the same spaces of once someone shows you who they are, believe them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Maya Angelou teaches us that. I was blessed to have that kind of wisdom in my home on a daily basis. It was, when you see that, believe that, but also forgive individuals because everybody's on their own journey.
Yep. Yep. Boy, that is wisdom for sure. I grew up with a single mom as well. And so my dad died when I was 3. So everything I know is from my mom. She made me who I am as
So,
well, you know?
dude, so much goes into that,
Yeah.
right? So it makes us the men we are. It provides us with a perspective where we have this vision where we see life out of one eye of genetically being men and another eye of being nurtured in women,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep.
Reconciling the two of those things can be so fucking hard.
Yeah.
And especially when you don't have other men that you can talk to in those spaces about that.
Yeah.
Because in as much as my mother could do everything, she also cannot empathize with what it's like to be a man.
Yep. And it wasn't perfect. Like your upbringing was not perfect. It didn't have everything that you wanted it to have, no matter how hard she tried.
Right.
Right. Mine was the exact same way.
But
She did her best, but it's just not going to be the same as having a healthy, loving father.
Facts, absolute facts in that. And the addition to that is self-actualized in the human being that I am today. I love the man that I am. I love who I am. Does that mean I am content? It doesn't. Does it mean I'm going to wake up tomorrow and try and beat today? I am. I'm going to constantly try and evolve and grow and be the best version of myself today and beat yesterday in that space.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm going to love who I am, the completeness of who I am, that means I also have to acknowledge and recognize the fact that the role that my father played in that, his derelict in that duty of love, also provided me with an understanding of what I'm not going to be as a father.
Right.
But it also acknowledges the spaces of what my mother did as a mother.
Emphasizes that even more.
Right. So it's the balance of those things of knowing that all too often as human beings, if we could look into the future, we would want to step away from the pain that's going to impact us. But the reality is that pain is part of our evolution and it creates who we are. Because we learn to grow from that, that turns us into the human beings we are. And hopefully we grow from that soil and become more fertile in it. Or we raise up through that crack in the concrete and still flower.
Yeah.
That's the hope. I think the ultimate goal is to realize, how do I evolve and grow and eliminate the pain? How do I get rid of that and learn from enough of my surroundings to be better and strive to be better without having to fall down and skin my knee in that process?
Yeah.
And more importantly, how do I do that without negatively impacting the people around me?
Yeah.
How do I have that emotional growth and that intellectual growth without hurting anyone else, but also getting better by in and of myself on a day-to-day basis?
Yep. Man, I think about often what my life would be like if my dad hadn't passed.
Right?
So interesting to think about. I think I would be totally different.
You would be.
I mean, growing up with just a single mom, I'm the oldest of 3 kids. She raised all 3 of us by herself.
Mm-hmm.
When my dad passed, I was 3. My sister was 1.5, and my mom was pregnant with my other sister when he passed suddenly.
Yeah.
And we were living in Illinois. He was pretty successful. He had a carpentry business.
Yeah.
I probably would have grown up with 2 parents who had money, who had resources, who had influence. And instead, we had to move out of this nice house we had and move into town. And my mom had to work when she could,
Yeah.
raise us the best she could.
Yes.
And I had a rough upbringing in some ways, but extremely blessed. I talk about this all the time. Extremely fortunate to have a good mom who was present and
Yeah.
worked hard and loved
Yes.
us. And like, that's how I learned the value of working hard, is because I grew up with a single mom. Like,
Yes.
you got to figure it out. Like, you can make excuses for a while, but you got to figure it out. Right.
So 100%.
Yeah.
The deal with that is also the resiliency you learned, right?
Yes.
We like to call it
Yeah.
resiliency. We like to call it grit. There's all these different terms around it, but
Mhm.
it is part of survival
Yeah.
that we get to have, right? So one of the things in growing up and being Black in America is that there are survival skills you have to survive, because the odds are set against you. The deck is stacked against you. The game is rigged, but it doesn't mean you don't play. You got to skate uphill, but it means you skate your ass uphill.
Yeah.
And you still get there, right?
Yeah.
It creates this backbone, this resiliency, this stick-to-itiveness, this grit, this piece that happens with us.
Yeah.
The same thing happens in growing up in a single parent home. Um, that makes you better. It makes you better. And it's because of that your business exists. It's because of that you recognize humanity in a different way than you would have. So I often think about, what if my dad was the dad that I wanted him to be?
Mm-hmm.
I've got friends of mine that grew up in what I would have deemed to be this idyllic family home, and a dad and a mom,
Mm-hmm.
but those same friends of mine, like, it's not waves that hit the ocean, it's swells. So when the swells hit the ocean, they start freaking out. And it's got to be a Category 5 hurricane before I'm like, oh, this is getting a little rough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, I feel the same way.
Like,
and I feel kind of bad about it sometimes. I'm like, well, it's not that bad.
right.
You're going to be fine.
You look at the, exactly.
Yeah.
You look at them and you go, that's the shit that's breaking you.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, that was me at 7.
Yeah.
That was you at 9. Right.
Yeah.
That was you going, I got this.
Yeah.
That's easy. I can make it through that. And it's easy now because you made your way through it 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So when you get the benefit of perspective, and you get to the space where you get to the end of life, and when I'm not at the end, but you get to a space where you're looking back and you're like, oh, okay, I got it. And then the hymns that we sang in church take on a different meaning. Growing up in a Black Baptist church, and having those individuals that were 5 minutes removed from slavery that sang these songs that I sang all the time and I didn't fully get. I sang them and I understood them, but they didn't impact me the way they do today.
Right.
My soul looks back and wonders at how I got over. That has a different meaning to me today than it did when I sang it at 16.
Yeah.
It was something I sang by rote at 15 and 16. And now it's like, oh, dude, my soul looks back and wonders at how I got over.
Yeah. The word perspective really stands out to me all the time.
Yeah.
The older I get, the older we get, the more perspective we have. And that's how I feel about my mom as well. The older I get, the more I'm like, oh, you did all that.
You're right.
Oh,
right.
Oh, got it. Right. You realize, oh man, that's pretty gnarly. So parents or the people who came before you, it's just, you some stuff you just can't understand until you get older and learn more. I learned things going over to Italy for a while and then coming back. I'm like, oh, some things are in perspective now.
Facts.
Stuff I didn't really have context for. Oh, so anyway, I was really moved to hear people talk about your mom, and so I'm glad to hear you talk about it some more.
Dude, I can talk about my mom all day long.
Yeah.
And
we have that in common.
And I can talk about my dad. It's only recently that I've started to talk about our home life together. Because I've always been so compartmentalized to protect the public image from birth until, let's call it, until I was 50. I protected the public image.
You're only like 27 or 28 though.
Yeah, so it's going to be 5 years from now that I'll actually get in touch with that. Yeah. Dude, I'm an old ass man, and I appreciate and value every year that I've been on this planet. The only thing that is interesting to me about being younger than I am is my body functioning the way that it used to. Not waking up and getting out of bed and pulling a muscle because I actually woke up. That's the only part. Outside of that, man, I joke about it all the time. I remember being 24 and being bulletproof, like bullets bounced off me. And I was like, who just shot me? And why did you do that? And now it's like, I literally get out of bed and I take one step and my back seizes up for no reason.
It's hard. I was just talking about this with my sister. She threw her back out recently, picking up some pants or something. And we were like, man, you have to work out all the time. You got to stretch all the time.
Yeah.
Like who has time for it?
Yeah.
I don't have time for it.
Yeah. The only option is you do it or you die.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Yeah. 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 Oh man, how we doing on time, Aaron? We okay? Okay, we got to get you out of here at 5:15. What else do we need to cover?
Dude, I will talk with you. That's the fun part about this. I will sit down and talk with you all day long.
Dude, we could go forever.
And we do.
We're trying to pack
We
it
do.
in.
We do it. We do it playing golf. We do it having a drink. We do it over fashion.
Man,
I will sit down and talk with you about every damn thing.
Man, I'm missing golf season already.
Yeah, you're not alone.
I'm missing it. But I mean, we could be getting out there this week. I've been too busy.
It's me too. But I'm also in the space where I try to leave the balance in there, and enjoy the winter and love it, so that I can miss golf. I can miss my relationship with golf.
Yep.
And then that way I don't take it for granted, and I really appreciate it when I do it.
You're right again. You're right again.
I mean, it's people think that that closeness brings intimacy in relationships, and it's actually space that does that.
Yeah.
So
or at least a balance.
Esther Perel talks about it in Mating in Captivity, in one of the most amazing books you can get into. But if I am with you 24/7, 365, I don't have space to miss you. I don't have space to long for you. I don't have space to desire you. Desire and longing and all of that comes from space.
Yeah.
It comes from me not being on top of you. And the thing that we don't want to talk about is it also comes from diversity of contact. We are so insecure in our own insecurities as it is, without being repetitive, that we don't understand that when we get into contact with other people, we value the choices we made more. It's only when you're out dating, or you're out, and you don't have to be dating. It's only when you're out and you see somebody else, or you're involved in somebody else. It's not only, I shouldn't say that, but it's in those spaces that you can also say, oh God, I'm so glad that I'm not with you, around you long term. I can't wait to get back to the person I chose.
Yeah.
I can't wait to be involved with that person I chose. It is the space between. It's not the note that you strike. It's the space between notes that creates jazz.
I like that.
It's the pause. It's that rhythm that creates that deal. And people think that, the moment we move in together and the moment we're on top of each other all the damn time. I'm mystified by those couples that live together, have kids together, and run a business together. Then I'm like, where do you find the space to be able to long for each other again?
Together.
I see that I see people.
I've seen it too.
That run businesses, that are married, that they do all, like, their lives. Or they take vacations together. They do all that stuff together, and it's like, where do you find the time to be separated, to love one another, and come back?
Yeah,
to feel that pull that comes back to you.
Especially when people have been together for so long. Which I have a ton of friends that have been together forever. I have like 10 married couple friends. That's like 20 people.
Yeah.
So I don't know their situation. They've all been married for between 5 and 15 years. And I'm like, man, I don't know what you do to like keep things fresh and work on a relationship of that length.
Right.
My longest relationship was 1.5 years. Not by choice. It's just how it's shaken out.
Right.
But it's just, maybe it's about the context. Again, the context that you get. How do you get context in a long-term relationship?
So let me tell you that successful relationship and longevity of relationship are not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Some relationships are incredibly successful and they run their course in 12 months or less. You learn what you're supposed to learn. They learn what they're supposed to learn. You've experienced what you're supposed to experience with each other. It's fun. It's beautiful. It's epic. It does all the stuff it's supposed to do.
And it's for a time. It's
for that
specific,
season.
Intended amount of time.
Legit.
God The universe, God made it that way.
Yeah, that's legit.
You're supposed to know this person for that amount of time.
But that's also not an unsuccessful relationship.
100%.
Right? So we got to redefine that in a different way. I have also known people that were married for 50 years and hated every fucking minute of it. And you're not meant to do that either.
It's like, oh, you're torturing yourselves and others.
Well, I've been married for 50 years. And how many of that has been happy for you or for them?
Yeah.
Like they've hated it, you've hated it, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Why is that a good thing?
Right.
So we should not be mistaking longevity for success.
Yeah.
Those are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Happy, healthy relationships should be the goal. And when they last longer, amazing. But you gotta opt into that every day. You got to opt into it every quarter. You got to opt into it every year. You got to wake up and choose one another every single day. And when you do that, that's a different change. That's a different space. But I've had some wonderfully fun short-term relationships that did what they were supposed to do. And they also strengthened the muscles that I needed to have to be in the relationship that I'm in now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, my wife, my partner, was married before. I'm grateful for that relationship and that marriage because it gave her the testing ground, the proving ground, the success ground, the failure ground to be in the relationship with me and be who she is in this relationship. I was married before. And the guy that was married in that relationship would have failed in this relationship had I not gone through that relationship and flamed out the way that I did in that one. And not that I say that it was my ex-wife's fault or that it was my fault. It takes two people to build something. It takes two people to destroy it. And I rarely talk about my ex-wife because I'm more interested. That's an uncontrollable. I'm more interested in the thing I can control and what I can learn, and that's me.
The future, not the past.
And how do I take those lessons and become a better version of myself?
Yeah.
How do I learn from that to step into the spaces that I'm in now?
Yep. Boy, it's back to context again. It's back to having perspective and context in life. And if that isn't one of the toughest ones, a romantic relationship ends, and you're like, if you were really in it, this is the end of the world. Nothing good is ever going to come again.
Right.
You'll never feel good again. And then 5 years later, you're with somebody else and it's great. And you can realize, oh, I learned a ton in that relationship and it's helping me be better at this.
If you're good and you're lucky and you do that.
Right. Right.
So I had a professor at Pikes Peak Community College. It's Pikes Peak State College now. It's Pikes Peak Community College when I was there, right? Who, one of the questions, he asked every student on the first day of class, write down a series of questions, things that you want to know out of this class. And he talked about that stuff. Phenomenal teacher. I mean, phenomenal. One of those guys that has an impact on you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
One of the things that he said in that was, one of the people asked, how can I have a better relationship? I keep having failed relationships. And he immediately, they were flying questions. He immediately said, because you keep dating the same person. Sure, they have a slightly different name and, but you're dating the same person.
Yep.
And thus you're getting the same result. If you want to try something different, how about you try dating somebody you're a little bit less attracted to, but also has skill sets and values that more closely align.
How old were you at this time?
I was 17. I was in college at 17 and I was like,
you're like, that sounds terrible.
See ya. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's just crazy talk. And Dr. Carter was 100% correct. So then once you get out, it really is just a question of breaking the pattern of the cycle of falling back into the same relationship. And once you choose something different, then you get something different. And once you learn from that, and you got to quit looking at the other. Relationships is the grandest space for us to learn about ourselves. When we look at it and we're constantly interested in pointing that finger at the other, we're missing the opportunity to look at the three fingers that are pointing back at us. And if I stop looking at what you're doing wrong or right, and I start looking at myself 3 times as much and say, how can I be better? How can I better show up? How can I better listen? How can I better enact in those spaces? How can I better care for? How can I better perform? How can I be better and be the best version of myself? Then when that relationship ends, and they all end, nobody wants to tell you that. They all end.
Yeah.
They all end.
Yep. Yep.
Okay, just accept that. They all end. They either end because one of the two of you wants to go a different direction, or you both decide you want to go a different direction, or somebody dies. But they all end.
Mm.
But when they end, will you look back and say, well, I gave my best effort to that? I was the best that I could be every single day. Or do you look back and go, oh, God, they told me they love champagne and pizza, and I never did that for them?
Mm.
Do you live with guilt and regret? Right? I was lucky enough that in my very first significant relationship, dude, when I fucked that up, and I fucked it up,
Yeah.
my end of that, my end of that. And the biggest thing that I took away from that is that I took for granted that she was always going to be there. I took her for granted. She outgrew me. She moved into different spaces. She and I are friends to this day, but it was one of the most learning spaces I got to be in.
Mm.
And it's because I was also blessed enough to be able to look at myself and not blame her. And
How
in
old were you for this?
18, 19,
Yeah.
20,
Oh, man.
right? Um, but in that, the most valuable lesson I got from that is not to take the person in front of you for granted. So how do I show up the best way I can for you every day?
Good thing to learn at that age.
It's a good thing for me to continue to learn at this age.
Always.
How do I show up every day for you and be the best that I possibly can?
Yeah.
How can I speak your love language, not the love language that's natural to me, but one that's natural to you, so that I can give you the best that I can today? How
Right.
can I make you feel seen, loved, heard, valued today?
Takes a certain amount of sacrifice
But
to
but in
go
that,
out of your way and learn it. Learn how to do that for that person.
dude, I think it's about me. It's about learning it for myself, because everybody doesn't speak the language I do. So it's valued when I screw up my Spanish, but I try to speak Spanish to Spanish speaking people, right? How do I, when I'm in France, butcher their language? But it's appreciated because I've made an effort and I've tried. How does that work, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
same thing happens in people's love languages. How do I try to show up in a language that appreciates, a love language that you appreciate, knowing that I've given, and I know that I've given my best effort in that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. Okay. Love it. That's great. We got to get you out of here on time. So couple final questions that
Yes.
we ask everybody who comes and sits in that chair
Yes, sir.
is about Colorado Springs.
Yep.
Something you love and something that we need to do better. We've got a lot of answers about the people in Colorado Springs are amazing. And I say that every time someone asks me.
Yeah. 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 I get that.
But two things that I think are really important is, especially for someone like you with this kind of influence and you've been here this long, what do you love about it? And what do we really got to do better?
Um, I'm not going to tell you the people. I'm going to step away from that.
Good. I like it.
Okay. I'm going to tell you the community. I'm going to tell you it's the biggest small town that you've ever been in, and there are pluses and minuses to that.
Mhm.
People come to Colorado Springs and think it's transactional as far as relationships are concerned, like you do business in New York or you do business in Miami or LA or Chicago. You have to have relationships with people, and you got to give. And in that, then you get.
Mhm.
People have to know you, have to trust you to be able to do business with you. And I think the same thing holds true. And it's relationship based. It's relational. And I think there's value in that. I think there's value in a community that will welcome you in and they'll wrap their arms around you. But you got to show up and you got to love, you got to give, you got to have a level of vulnerability. You got to step into those spaces. You can't show up and simply trade. And you can do that to a certain extent. I'll give you my this if you give me your that.
Right, right.
But I love the fact that there's a relationship that happens in there. And maybe I have that because I'm from here and I've built relationships. But it's also the same thing that I see in the leaders that do well in our community. They do well because they have a stake.
Yeah.
And that stake is my reputation and this relationship we've built. And I'm going to do what I said I'm going to do because I said I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
That doesn't show up in DC. That doesn't show up in LA.
Man, true.
It doesn't show up in Dallas.
Yeah.
Right. But it does show up here. I love that about my city.
I feel like trust is a good word for it.
Trust is
we build trust with each other. There has
do.
to be something, it's got to be based on something. We want it to be that way in this city for some reason. We want, for good reason, we want to trust each other in order to get things done, in order to do business with each other. And it makes us a lot more powerful than most cities, I think.
And there's got to be a level of integrity of what you do.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We have some business people that are successful that have a lower level of integrity. And you hear it in the conversations you have when you say, well, I'm about to go do business with Bobby Jones. And someone says, okay, but be careful.
Just so you know.
Just so you're aware.
Yep.
Bobby's a bit of a fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that could work out for you and it could be terrible, but you should know. Here's the totality of what I've experienced with Bobby.
It's a small town in that way.
Right.
Word gets around real quick.
Right.
You got to be careful.
Right.
For sure.
Right. 100%. I think that's an amazing thing about our city.
Yeah.
People think about it as in a negative sense. I think about it in a positive sense.
Yeah. 100% agree with that.
Clearly, we've touched on the fact that fashion is terrible in our hometown, and we could do so much better in that.
Because we got to improve our fashion.
That is garbage on the ninth level of hell. I mean, that is our fashion sense is a level of hell in Dante's Inferno.
It's the 13th level, and there aren't 13 levels.
There are 13 levels. It is so bad. It is so bad that I talk about it all the freaking time.
Yeah.
Other things that are about that are that the thing that we can do better at is for people who are immigrants to Colorado Springs, which is all of you. All of you are immigrants to my hometown. I was born at Memorial Hospital. I'm from here, so I get to say that, right?
Yep. Yeah.
All of you are immigrants to my hometown.
I immigrated.
You immigrated, right? The sooner that you pick up the mantle, drink from the chalice and the cup that says, I am Colorado Springs, rather than suggesting, oh, I love Nebraska, then take your ass back to Nebraska.
Oh, okay. Yep.
I love Texas, then go back to Texas.
Yeah.
California is amazing. Take your ass back there.
Yep.
Right? But if you're going to
love it. I love that you said it.
If you're going to be here now. Show up and be Colorado Springs. One of the most amazing things about Mayor Yemi is the fact that you have to dig deep in a conversation with him to find out where he's from.
That's true.
Because he's always going to talk about where he is.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. It's a great way to put it.
That cat is always going to talk to you about Colorado Springs. And that's not a political thing with him. That's his love of this city.
Yeah.
He loves the 719. And he's always going to talk about his love of the 719.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
That's the thing that matters. When Yemi came to town, there was another leader-ish who came in, and they were both splashing with the same fanfare in our community at the same time. And Yemi was here talking about Colorado Springs. This other guy was talking about Chicago. And in every conversation he had, he was like, well, in Chicago, we do this. Well, I'm from Chicago and we do that. In Chicago, we do this. And I was like, dude, take your ass back to Chicago.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they ran you out of town, because you couldn't cut the mustard there, and you're coming here and you're talking about it.
Don't bring the same thing here.
Don't bring it here. Yeah. Be here, be present here, be excited about this place. Yeah. That's the thing we can do better. And I think that's the thing that we can all lean into in a much stronger place. I think when we all find that level of excitedness about this community that we chose, don't come and get in a relationship with this city and constantly talk about your ex-girlfriend. Right? Right. Don't be here and tell me about your ex-boyfriend. Yeah. Either be here and love us as we are, for what you chose. Yeah. Nobody made you come here. And if they did, you're in the military and they're going to ship you back out once you get PCS to someplace else. Yeah. Right? You chose this place. Yeah. Then love it and lean hard into that. That's what we can be better at.
So has this always been a thing since as far back as you can remember? Like, this is how we've been in Colorado Springs? This collaborative, community-focused way of doing things, trust-focused way of doing business?
That's a tough question, dude. I will tell you that Colorado Springs has been a transient community of military people who have come here to retire.
Right.
That's what it's been. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But those folks that get here and they decide they're going to be engaged in their community, then collaborate in a very strong way. Some people are natives. Some people got here because of the military. But once that percentage of that population says, okay, I'm going to opt in, then that has been some of the strongest spaces that we've been in as a community. It's been those collaborators that have done that. And I think about, my brain immediately goes to what happens if everybody leans in and collaborates that way. Yeah. What if everybody leaves their cul-de-sac in whatever suburban subdivision you live in that's around this city? Yeah. And you lean hard into, where do I give my time, my effort, my energy, my talent beyond my kid's school and beyond my church?
Right, right.
Where do I lean into those other third spaces that really do impact the greater community? Going to church helps to alleviate my personal guilt. Giving in my community helps to raise the tide for everyone. Yeah. You cannot convince me that we as a community cannot alleviate homelessness if we choose to do so.
Right.
You can't convince me of that. You can't convince me that we can't address mental health in a better way.
Yeah.
You can't convince me that we can't address feeding the hungry better than we are. We can do that. We just have to choose to. And I get excited when I think about what happens when the people in this community choose to do that. For something that is a city that is proclaimed to be so Christian, we have a city of individuals that act in the least Christ-like way that you can possibly imagine. Christian is a term that means to be Christ-like, and yet we've turned it into a religion that is an atrocity. What happens when individuals wake up every day and they think, oh, well, Jesus is for handguns? I don't know what Bible you read, but that's not the answer.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
How do I take care of those less than me?
Yeah.
And I do so with my time, my money, and my talent. How do I do that? How do I take care of immigrants with my time, my money, and my talent? How do I take care of the homeless with my time, my money, and my talent? How do I take care of children with time, money, talent? How do I see to it that nobody goes to bed hungry with time, money, talent? And we'll find out that there's more than enough for all of us. There's an abundance for everyone. Yeah. It's not going to strip you of any one of the joys that money can buy in this universe, but it will enhance your joy in a completely different way.
It's the abundance mentality instead of the scarcity mentality.
Facts, dude. Facts. 100% facts. So I get excited when I think about a community of individuals that do that. And then how do we raise each other up and cheer each other on because of that?
Yeah.
It's also the same reason why I love playing golf without betting.
Playing golf without betting.
Yeah. So if you're not betting with the people that you're playing golf with, then golf is it's not a competitive sport of me against you.
Yeah.
Right? Golf is a competitive sport of me against the course and you against the course.
Me against myself.
It's the course is designed away, and it's how are you slaying the course that day.
Yeah.
So in its most proper sense of the game, there are four of us on the course pulling for and cheering for each other to do as great as we possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah.
To kick ass on all 18 holes.
Yep. That's why I love the scramble.
So
that's why I love the scramble.
Even why
without it, but
that's why I love when we get to go play together, and it's me and you and two other guys, or ladies. By the way, that's not a gender specific statement. That's two other human beings that are out playing golf with us.
Oh yeah.
I'm so excited when I watch you hit a great shot. I'm freaking thrilled.
You are. It always happens.
I'm so, dude, that is so awesome. I'm all about that.
Yeah. Love seeing
when you nail a putt that I'm like, he ain't making that. That's awesome. That's the best part about that.
Yeah.
Imagine when we do that as human beings.
Yeah. Well said.
And we're not betting against each other, but we're cheering each other genuinely on.
Yeah.
To see what's the best thing that can happen. It doesn't mean that if you hit a great shot, I can't hit a great shot.
It's got nothing to do with it.
Zero.
Yeah.
And in fact, if I hit a great shot and you're cheering me on, it feels even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like hitting a great shot and nobody's there to see it is cool, but it's cooler when there's other people that are there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is, I think, the joy of the human experience and in the interaction and connectivity that we can have.
Yeah. Well said. Really well said. Well, cool, man. Thanks for taking time.
Dude,
chat.
I love to sit and chat with you, and I can do this all day long.
Have to do this again.
And thank you for having this as a medium that's out there for people to consume.
Yeah.
I appreciate the 7 people that are going to hear this.
Right?
I don't care if it's 7 or 7 million, bro. I always pull for you to win, but
I appreciate it. Likewise. That's what I want to.
I don't care. I don't care how many people get to hear this. I hope that people do, but nonetheless, man, we're recording this, but this is, for those of you who are listening, this is just what Adam and I sound like all the damn time when we're hanging out.
It kind of is.
I'm blessed to have you as a friend, to have you in my life as someone who I know and love and trust, and I get to just kick this with you all the time. So it's awesome.
Yeah, man. You as well. I'm always learning something new from you. I'm always challenged by you. I consider you the king of hot takes.
And I didn't give you any hot takes today.
You didn't get any today?
I didn't give you any hot takes.
I'm going to have you back on. We're going to do more.
Dude.
You always got an opinion that is controversial, and then you make a whole bunch of sense of it. And I love what you're doing around here. I love who you are as a man. It's good to get to know you and be challenged by you at all times.
Thank you. Thank you on all points.
It's really good to be friends. I love what you're doing with the Mens Xchange and who you are as a person. So thanks for all you're doing around here. And how can people get a hold of you? What do you want to give people for information? Social media?
Yeah, it's the Mens Xchange. There's no E in front of exchange, so it's Mens Xchange. There's a reason for that, by the way. It's cool, which is the first reason I did it.
It is
that it's cool. Right? It's the Mens Xchange, like I'm a superhero. But also, if it's a website, the Mens MENS with an E Xchange becomes the Mens Xchange.
Oh, I'm glad you didn't do that.
That's a different site. It's a whole different website.
That URL was taken.
That turns into a whole different space. But the Mens Xchange, we used to be on Twitter. We left that when they started slinging out Nazi salutes. We felt like that no longer aligned with who we were. There's your hot take.
There's one.
So we left Twitter and X when it became a Nazi platform, or fascist one. How about we go that route?
We'll use that word.
We'll use that word
instead of the N word.
Because people screw up what Nazis are because they don't have a framework for history. Here's your hot take.
Let's do it.
Here's your hot take. People mistake, because we have perspective, we think Nazis in one term, but Nazis were historically a more conservative version of the Conservative Party in Germany.
Far conservative.
They were far more conservative. So it was a more conservative. Stop me if any of this sounds familiar. It was a more conservative than the Conservative Party. So if we think about where Republicans are, they were more conservative than Republicans. And that's how we ended up with the Nazi Party. Okay. They were led by this charismatic leader who didn't have a lot of experience, who previously tried to overthrow the government and wanted to blame a bunch of other individuals for the shortcoming of his nation. Stop me if any of this sounds familiar. We immediately want to try to limit access, limit voting. Stop me if this sounds familiar.
Right.
From anybody who doesn't agree with me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to blame individuals and call them the immigrants and the migrants that are causing the problems. And if we purified our nation, we could be great again. Okay. If we get rid of all the other things that people have brought into it, and we only talk about what the great white German did, then it would be a better space. We are cursed to repeat history because we refuse to learn from it.
Right.
That's where we are in this space. Right.
Yep. Humans are made that way, right?
That's where we
We're
are.
not made that way, but we've become that way.
We lean into that because we don't know any better. If we can do away with the Department of Education, then we can control the narrative. If we can do away with the free press, then I can control the narrative. So I don't want you at the Pentagon reporting on what you see. I want you have to run it through my press department before you can actually report on it.
Yep.
That's not freaking new.
Maybe you're not allowed around here.
It's the same thing that we've already seen happen. We've already seen the tragic outcome that comes from it.
Yeah.
Right? Here's your hot take. It's not that tough. It's, are we willing to learn from it? Are we willing to grow for it? And are we willing to be better?
Yeah.
And you will always, always, always find the person that's in defense of this abhorrent behavior are the people that want to remain in this retrospective look of things were better when there was only one seat at the table and only one voice at the table.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that we are at our best as a nation, as a world, as a humanity, as a society, when everyone's got a seat at the table and we get different voices that come together for the best possible outcome. When we're only looking at one, we can only serve one. But when we look at the many, when we look at e pluribus unum, when we look at out of many comes one, it's only when we get that many that we get to what looks like a unified nation and a unified world.
Yeah.
So do with that as you will. I can't make individuals learn. But there's a reason why we're trying to get rid of education and free press. And we're only trying to sanitize things and make them come out one way. There's a reason why we're trying to eliminate all the achievements of ethnic minorities that they have given to this nation to make it a better place and try to make the story as white and as male as it possibly can be. And the end result of that ends up with 12 million Jews dead, or 12 million Mexican immigrants dead, or 12 million people from shithole countries dead, versus what we can look like as a unified light. Thanks for having me, brother.
There it is. There it is. Perfect way to wrap it up. Thanks, James. I appreciate you.
Brother, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Always good to see you. Thank you.
Always my pleasure, brother.
Yeah, man. All right.
Later.
Cool. Dude, that was fun.